Cell-Tech Hyper-Build. Is it really up to the hype? Hey, it's Channel Dad Bryon Lape back with reviews you can use, and it's been a while since I've done some of these things, and it's been sitting around. So this is Muscletech. Now, Muscletech is one of those brands you find at your typical grocery store, Walmart, around Kroger, or Meijer for us here in the Midwest. They're decent brands. They're not great, and they don't really save you money, but at least you can get something. So here's why I say that. So this is the Cell-Tech Hyper-Build. I think this was about 40 bucks. It's backed by, key ingredients backed by 4 university studies, if you want to believe that. Maximize muscle creatine saturation, rapid increase in size and strength, faster ATP synthesis for better recovery. So you get 5 grams of creatine, 6 grams of branched chain amino acids. There's 30 servings in here. When you break down the scoop, 16 grams in one scoop, and there is approximately 30. I'm trying to figure out, see how much it shows. So this is 4 grams of creatine monohydrate and 1 gram of creatine HCl. Now, creatine HCl, quite often you don't need as much because really, if you're into serious, even in some of the endurance stuff, 5 grams of creatine monohydrate is the recommendation. You don't have to necessarily load it, but it will get it in your system a little bit quicker, so you might do a loading phase of 4 or 5 days where you take twice as much, and then you go back down to 1. And that's really all you need, unless you're well over like 250 or something. I wouldn't even worry about how many pounds. Or if you're really light, maybe you only need a half of that dose. But in general, you know, your mileage may vary. The thing about the creatine monohydrate is some people find that it bloats their stomach and it's a bit of an irritant no matter how they take it, whether with something or by itself. And so the creatine HCl is a little bit more expensive, but your body does tend to take it in a little bit faster. Now, there is cheap creatine monohydrate out there, okay? But there's also the expensive stuff, and really stay away from both. You don't really need to spend a lot of money on creatine, but you also don't want really, really cheap stuff. Now, Muscletech is a decent brand. It's not, you know, it is one of the best selling, but here's the thing that drives me nuts. Now, they didn't do it on this packaging. I was looking at some other Muscletech stuff yesterday, and it said how many servings and all this in there, and then the amounts that they gave on the label were for 2 scoops, essentially 2 servings. 1 scoop was considered a serving. And I don't like that because it really is misleading. You see, oh, okay, you know, 300 whatever, you know, this was a pre-workout, 300 milligrams of caffeine and so much taurine and all that. Then you read the label, which this only has the 1 scoop, and they'll say 1 serving, 2 serving, and those numbers are for 2 servings, and it's only 31 scoop servings. So now you're paying $20, $25 really for 15 servings. And that's why I said they don't necessarily save you money. Now, this is an interesting product because it's a post-workout. You've got your branched chains and you've got your creatine. Now, I started this post-workout. I took it with me to the gym. Now, my gym, we don't have the water fountains on. You know, it's because of all the crap that's going on. So I started sipping it during my workout after I got up to pretty much near the end of my warm-up. So if I'm doing squats, I might do 3 or 4 sets of warm-ups and different things. And I'm only taking sips of this. And then most of it I'm drinking kind of between the work sets and then on the way home. I know it's only a mile, and then when I get home, I finish it off. It had good flavor. I should have done a taste test of it. I did not. It dissolved fairly well in a shaker bottle with the spring, although I usually had it at the gym without it, so I wasn't annoying everybody, and it really did a decent job. Now, it's a branched chain amino acid, so it's not going to dissolve completely. That's one way to know that the branched chain amino acids are not water soluble. So you may have something still floating around, but is it gritty? Does it taste goofy? No, I think it did a decent enough. I had good recovery. I had good, once I got on it and got the creatine in my system, I made some gains. I made some, hit some milestones. And I'm very close to hitting some major milestones, even though I haven't been taking this. I've got another creatine supplement I'm doing, just straight creatine. But overall, this was decent, and I think 1 scoop is enough. I don't think if you take 2 scoops, now you're getting 8 grams of monohydrate and 2 grams of HCl. I think that's too much unless you really, if you're deadlifting 600 pounds, okay, fine. But for most people, that's way too much. So I think And I like that they have it on the label is 1 serving. It's not 2. So go with that. Now, if you, like I said, go look at their. And they're not the only ones that do this. Some of these these store-oriented brands will say they're not a store brand. They do this kind of nonsense and go look at the label. Overall, this is decent. This is a recommend. This is like a 7.5 out of 10, maybe an 8 if I really am pushed on it. Because it is 2 products in one, you do save a little bit of money there. And especially if you've been taking creatine for a while and you don't need to load, this is fine. My problem is this is a post-workout. So if you don't work out and you don't take this, then you're going to skip a day or whatever. If you're like one-off, especially like if you do 3 times a week, you're taking it 3 times a week, and then 4 days a week you're not taking it. So you're really not going to get the benefits of creatine as much. You'll get some, but you won't get it because you're not loading. If you work out every day or do some kind of training session every day and you're taking this every day, or you're taking it every day even on your off day, then your creatine is going to remain good. But now you're getting branched chain amino acids, especially if it's an off day. You're getting branched chain amino acids your body doesn't really need unless you skimp on some protein powder intake or something. And it's really just the ones oriented toward, you've got your leucine, valine, isoleucine, and glutamine, really geared toward training. So if you take it on a non-training day, I don't know. So take that with a grain of salt as far as, because it is a combined, but as far as Muscletech goes, this is a pretty decent product. And in that vein, I would recommend, but if you can afford a separate post and a separate good, especially if it's a creatine HCl, because you don't have to take as much, it's only slightly more expensive, it doesn't cause stomach irritation, fine, but unflavored creatine can be found all over, and it does pretty well. And it's, I mean, just put it in some water and shake it and drink it. You get used to it. It's kind of salty, you get used to it. So 7.5, 8 out of 10 for me. So have you tried Cell-Tech from Muscletech? Do you like it, not like it? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much, and we will see you. Goodbye. Cell-Tech. All right, one more test. That looks much better. Oh, I don't need you making noises beside me.